The airport was humming that night, lights reflecting off the rain-slicked tarmac like 1,000 tiny stars. Travelers rushed between gates, dragging suitcases and tired dreams. Amid the noise, one woman stood still, listening. Maya Lin, a quiet interpreter for international business delegations, had learned that sometimes the most dangerous things weren't shouted, they were whispered. She was assigned to assist an American tech millionaire, Ethan Cole, who had just landed in San Francisco after a tense trip to Asia. Maya had translated at his meetings all week and sensed something off, a tension under the smiles of the foreign investors, a look in their guards' eyes that didn't belong in friendly negotiation rooms. As they waited by the exit doors, Ethan's security team, two tall men in black suits, spoke softly in Mandarin, assuming the translator wouldn't overhear. But Maya did. "He won't see the sunrise tomorrow." The words froze her. She turned slightly, pretending to check her phone, listening closer. The second guard replied. "The car's ready. We just need him to get in." Her pulse slammed in her ears. The car, Ethan's car. They planned something fatal before morning. Maya looked toward Ethan, who was talking with his assistant by the terminal door, oblivious. She forced her voice steady. "Mr. Cole, don't get in that car. Please." He frowned, surprised. "What? Your guards, they're not who you think they are. Don't get in the car they brought." Ethan's expression hardened. "Maya, that's a serious claim." "I heard them in Mandarin," she whispered urgently. "They said you wouldn't live till sunrise." Before he could respond, one guard gestured impatiently toward the curb. "Mr. Cole, car's ready." Ethan studied Maya for a moment, saw the terror in her eyes, and something inside him shifted. "You're driving, right?" he asked the guard casually. "Yes, sir." Ethan smiled faintly. "Then I'll walk tonight." He turned to Maya. "Come with me." The guard stiffened, but he was already moving toward a line of taxis, Maya close behind. Her hands trembled. "They'll know you're suspicious now," she said. "I know," Ethan replied. "So let's find out why." They slipped into a cab and told the driver to head toward the Embarcadero, away from the private parking lot. Through the back window, Maya saw one guard speaking urgently into a phone. Ethan's jaw clenched. "They're calling someone. Looks like you just saved my life." Maya shook her head. "Not yet." They stopped at a small 24-hour diner near the bay, neon light flickering against the windows. Inside, Ethan ordered 2 coffees and slid into a booth. "You're sure about what you heard?" he asked. Maya repeated the Mandarin sentences, translating them word for word. Ethan rubbed his face. "Those men were vetted by my own security firm. If they were compromised." He stopped mid-sentence, pulling out his phone. "No service." Maya checked hers, also dead. "They jammed the signal before we left." Ethan's voice was calm, but his eyes betrayed fear. "Whoever's behind this isn't small time." The waitress refilled their cups, oblivious to the storm brewing at their table. Outside, rain began to fall harder, streaking the glass. Maya leaned forward. "Who would want to kill you, Mr. Cole?" He exhaled slowly. "You mean besides half my competitors?" He gave a humorless laugh. "I recently exposed corruption in my own board, offshore deals, shell companies. Maybe I dug too deep." "Then this isn't just business," Maya said. "It's personal." Ethan nodded grimly. "Someone's cleaning house." A black SUV rolled slowly past the diner. Maya noticed first. "That's them." Ethan turned. One of the guards sat in the passenger seat, scanning through the rain. "Back door," he muttered. They slipped out through the kitchen as the SUV parked out front. They darted into the alley, splashing through puddles, the smell of oil and damp asphalt filling the air. Ethan led her toward the waterfront. "I know someone who can help." But we have to get to my safe house in the hills. Maya followed, every sound magnified, a horn in the distance, the hum of tires, footsteps behind them. Halfway across the pier, headlights flared. Another SUV blocked their path. "Run!" Ethan shouted. They sprinted into the maze of shipping containers. Maya's breath came in sharp gasps. Gunshots cracked through the night, one hit a metal crate inches from her head. Ethan pulled her behind cover. "We can't outrun them." Maya's mind raced. "There's a ferry dock at the end of the pier. If we can reach it." He nodded. "Move." They broke from cover, darting between containers. Maya slipped, caught herself, kept running. A guard's shout echoed, "Stop them." They reached the dock as the ferry's last light flickered. Ethan jumped aboard, pulling her with him just as the engine roared to life. The pier receded into darkness. Maya collapsed on a bench, shaking. "Who are these people?" Ethan looked out at the rain-swept bay. "People I trusted." "Which makes them the most dangerous kind." The ferry docked across the bay. From there, Ethan borrowed a car from a small rental lot, paying cash. They drove through the night into the fog-covered hills of Marin County. The safe house was a rustic cabin hidden among redwoods, quiet, remote, secure. Inside, Ethan lit a fire and checked the surveillance monitors. Nothing followed. Maya finally exhaled. "You should call the police." "I can't," he said. "Not until I know which ones are on my payroll. This goes higher than you think." He sat at his desk, typing into an encrypted laptop. "I have files proving the board's been selling data to foreign fronts. If we leak it, they'll have nowhere to hide." Maya stood beside him. "Then let's finish what they started." He looked at her, surprised. "You're staying?" She smiled faintly. "After tonight, I'm not walking away." Hours later, as dawn broke, the cabin's cameras blinked. A dark sedan crawled up the gravel road. "They found us," Maya whispered. Ethan shut the laptop and grabbed a small drive. "Everything's on here. If I don't make it, promise me you'll get this to the press." Maya met his eyes. "You're making it." Together. The car stopped outside. 3 men stepped out, guns drawn. Maya pulled Ethan toward the back exit. "The forest trail, go." They ran through the trees, breath visible in the morning chill. Behind them, shouts echoed. Branches whipped their faces as they climbed a steep ridge. Suddenly, Maya's foot hit a root, and she fell. Ethan turned back, helping her up, and a bullet tore through his shoulder. He grunted in pain but kept moving. "Go." They reached a clearing overlooking a ravine. No road, no cover. Maya glanced around, desperate. A ranger tower stood about 100 yards away. There. They sprinted toward it, bullets snapping past. Ethan stumbled but refused to stop. They burst inside, slamming the door. Maya grabbed the radio on the desk. "Emergency broadcast, code red, multiple armed assailants." Static. Then a voice crackled through. "Ranger Station 12, we read you. Stay put." She turned to Ethan, who was slumped against the wall, blood soaking his sleeve. "You're going to be okay," she said, pressing a towel against the wound. He winced. "You really think they'll let us live?" She met his gaze. "I didn't hear them whisper just to stay silent." Outside, the men surrounded the tower. "Come out, Cole," one shouted. "It's over." Ethan looked at her. "Any ideas?" Maya grabbed the drive from his pocket and held it up. "Only one." She climbed the ladder to the top platform as the men approached. The wind whipped her hair, rain starting again. She connected the drive to the emergency antenna port, rerouting Ethan's encrypted files through the Ranger network. One of the men shouted, "Stop her." Ethan fired his last round through the window, buying her seconds. Maya typed the final command. Upload complete. A beam of static hummed through the antenna as the files transmitted. Then, silence. The door burst open. A guard stormed in, but the sound of sirens cut through the forest. Police vehicles tore up the dirt road, lights flashing. The men dropped their weapons, too late. Maya climbed down slowly, drenched, exhausted. Ethan managed a faint smile. You did it. She nodded. No. We did. 3 days later, national news exploded. Tech empire conspiracy exposed, board members arrested after whistleblower leak. Ethan survived surgery. When he woke in the hospital, Maya was there, sitting by the window. You saved my life, he said weakly. She smiled. You believed me when no one else would. He chuckled softly. What will you do now? Disappear for a while, she said. I've made enough noise. Ethan reached for her hand. If you ever want a place to belong, you've got one. She squeezed his hand gently. Maybe someday. A month later, in a quiet cafe outside Seattle, a woman with short hair and a new name sat sipping coffee. On the TV above, Ethan Cole stood at a press conference, announcing a new foundation to protect whistleblowers. He ended with, "Someone once taught me that the smallest voice can save a life. Sometimes, all you have to do, is listen." Maya smiled softly, watching the screen flicker. Then she stood, paid her bill, and stepped outside into the sunlight. Across the street, 2 men spoke in Mandarin. One whispered. Is that her? Maya turned, calm and fearless. Tell your boss, she said in perfect Mandarin, that I'm done hiding. Then she walked away, the sound of her footsteps fading into the crowd, the whisperer who refused to stay silent. Because sometimes, the smallest voice doesn't just hear danger. It changes everything.